me that.
All right.
It's on the field now?
Yep.
Camera's rolling. Go for it.
What are they knocking about?
Well, welcome everyone. My name's Andy. I am community leader here at Larch Portland. I'm here with my friends Francis Sexton, who's a board member at Larch Portland, and Tom Soma, who's a former board member at Larch Portland. And we're here to talk about our experience of creating a diverse board of directors. And so I'm here with my friends, and I just want to first ask the two of you, Francis, how long have you been involved with Larch, and how did you get involved?
Since beginning, what year maybe not back in 1980s?
Yeah.
And I met my good friend Tom White. He's the one that introduced me to the Lord.
And you've been involved with friendships in Larch ever since?
Yes.
Yes. And sometimes you've taken your friends from Larch dancing?
Yes. Yes. I loved it then.
Thank you, Francis. That paints a great picture. So Tom, same question for you. How have you been involved with Larch over the years?
You know, I've been, I would say, on the periphery of Larch ever since it began. Knew some of the founders and actually participated in a few little things here and there over the years, but it really wasn't until, Andy, you approached me 4.5 years ago to consider getting involved in some other ways. First facilitating the board retreat and then ultimately coming onto the board.
Yeah. So almost four years ago next month, we had a board retreat, which we have every January, and it was a half day we shared together, and the board of directors had asked Tom Soma to be a facilitator. And Tom is a local nonprofit leader and professional, and we really wanted him to lead us through how we become more and grow as a board. And we came out of that board retreat with the question, could we invite someone who experiences an intellectual disability to be on our board? And so we took that question and we asked some people in Larch, is there precedent, can we do this? And the answer we got was, yes, but you have to make sure that person is a director and that they have full agency over their decisions as a director. And that it should not be someone who is just a token member representing people with disabilities. And so we took that to heart. And maybe the next month, that February, March, we had a community discussion about Larch USA's business plan, which we were working on at that time. And Francis was at that meeting as one of our friends from the extended community. And Francis had lots of questions that night. She asked lots of questions to the point where at our next executive committee meeting, all we could talk about was all the questions that Francis asked, how good they were, and that some of our executive committee members wished they had asked those questions. And so then we said, maybe Francis is the person that we're looking for to be on our board. So I made an introduction. Do you two remember that?
Yeah.
Yes. We met at the coffee house, a restaurant. And you introduced me to Tom.
And how was that?
I was kind of nervous met him. I was kind of nervous met you.
I was nervous too.
Huh?
I was nervous too.
I didn't know you was nervous.
First of all, I want to say something about the diversity thing, because we came out of that board retreat and there was a very strong sentiment toward wanting the board to be more diverse. Now, what is diversity?
What that mean?
You know, there's having different kinds of people
Okay.
represented. And for
Okay.
different organizations, that means different things. But for all organizations seeking diversity these days, it does mean having the people that you're serving, supposedly, be represented in the board. Which is why we wanted to have someone with an emotional disability or an intellectual disability on the board.
Okay.
But as Andy said, we wanted to be very thoughtful about how we did that. And what Andy, and I'm going to give Andy a great deal of credit here, decided was, all right, let's bring somebody on, but let's partner that person with another board member. I wasn't looking for a board. I wasn't going to be on the board. I'd already kind of told Andy, I'm not quite ready for that. But Andy said, well, what if you came on the board as a partner with somebody that we're going to bring on with an intellectual disability? And that's what got my interest. Not coming alone, but coming in partnership with somebody that this organization really wanted to have on the board. And Andy was the one, I think, who orchestrated a match that he thought would work.
Yeah, you have a perfect match for it. Thank you,
And-
So you two, after that coffee, I went back to you and you both said, I asked you both individually afterwards, would you be interested in being on the board of directors together? And I asked you both individually, and you both said,
yes.
Yes, absolutely. I just thought Francis was the greatest, and it would be really, it would be a learning experience for me. I think if it would have been just a serving experience, that wouldn't have done it. But a learning experience was really intriguing.
Yes.
So the thought of working with Francis together was
Well, how about
compelling.
I want to ask you, are you nervous when you go out to be by yourself in the restaurant?
No, absolutely not.
Huh?
so I want to back up to the first board meeting. So when you two, the summer of 2016, started coming to board meetings together, could you share with us both the preparation
Mm-hmm.
for the board meeting and board meetings, as well as the experience of those meetings?
Yeah.
Okay, you do.
I'll start. Yeah, we decided that as a way to prepare ourselves for the meetings, we would go out to dinner
Okay.
before the meetings.
Yes.
And I would always make 2 copies of the board packet,
Okay.
and I would get my highlighter out and I would highlight areas that I thought were of special interest to Francis or that we needed to delve into a little bit before the meeting. You remember? And I'd bring the
Yeah,
package.
you're real good with it. You can explain everything to me. Real good. Each time we go out to everything.
Yeah.
I didn't have just no trouble understanding how.
So we would go to dinner and we would go through the whole agenda
Yes,
and look at the financials.
Yes.
We would look at the pressing issues
yes.
and we would talk about them. And we would actually often prepare questions.
Yes.
You would ask me a question and I'd say, Francis, that's a question you should ask everybody at the meeting.
Yes, I ask good questions. A lot of people's afraid, don't have no disability. I wonder why. Why don't they don't ask good questions? I guess it's scared or something.
Boards can become, I would say, a little bit lazy, especially when there's a good executive director. They just kind of allow things to happen. Francis kept us all on our toes, and
Really?
because she
I
asked
didn't know that.
questions, it forced us to pay attention to things maybe we wouldn't have paid attention to. And it was something different every time. And sometimes it was just something that merited a little bit of explanation. Sometimes it was deep, especially as we got into some planning phases. Then it was more than questions. Frances started offering perspectives. And just as she was very good about asking questions, she was very bold about what her desires were for the community. So
Yeah, we were leading a process of what is the future for Large Portland look like and what does growth mean. And Francis offered a bold vision. And that
Yes.
bold vision was way out there. And it was courageous. And
Yeah.
it was limitless.
Yeah.
And it allowed us to...
And a lot of people should work for the bone elderly and the restaurant or theater to earn more money that way.
But you know what I think it did for our community is it allowed us to let go of like growth means creating another home like we currently have.
Yeah.
And it said growth does not mean replicating what we're already doing. It means doing something more that can impact more people.
And then I hope it happen in the near future, maybe in 5 or 10 years.
Yeah,
I would underscore what Annie just said about impacting more people, because Frances does not live in one of the homes.
No.
Frances participates in the community, and this was part of our planning process. How do we engage more people in the life of the community? How do we build a bigger community? Because there are people that would like to and benefit from all of what Larch is. And Frances, partly through her vision, but partly through her mere participation, helped with that.
I would say 4 years ago, our core members, our adults with intellectual disabilities who live in our homes, welcome people into their homes to experience Larch and would go out and speak at schools. And that was really the opportunity for leadership for adults with intellectual disabilities in our community. Now, through your leadership and example, we have people throughout Portland who are able to participate and lead at monthly gatherings.
Yay.
We have a new home that is not based on residential care, which again was, you live independently, and so is kind of based on your experience of
Yeah.
living.
Good.
And so Larch is now available to a lot more people. And I think we have a lot more people representing Larch in the wider community because of that. I think, and just this past summer, Tom ended his
3-year term.
his 3-year term, and Tom stepped off of the board, and we were grateful for his leadership during those 3
And
years.
this time at the board meeting.
But Frances, did you step off the board?
No,
You-
I got Andrew. He's my friend too. He's helped me
So
too.
Frances signed up for a second 3-year term, and now
Yeah.
Frances is supported
But Andrew,
by Andrew.
I would say more Frances supports Andrew.
huh?
But does that mean your friendship has ended, or do you guys still go out to dinner?
Yes.
Lunch, dinner, breakfast,
Yes.
once a month, and now Paul comes with us often, and
Yes.
my wife joins us periodically.
Yes. We still continue our friendship.
So board members are able to remain involved in relationships and in the community beyond their participation in the board, which is so important as well.
Yes.
You know, and Frances said something a little while ago about representing people like her.
Yes.
Now, I will emphasize, there's no one quite like Frances, but you do thoughtfully represent other people,
Like me.
like your brother,
Yes.
like some of the other people who don't live in the community.
Yes.
But you also know everybody who is in the community, individually, personally, and you care deeply about them. And it's through that caring, I think, that you represent their interests very well and very effectively.
Yes. Yes.
And you name that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm grateful for both of you. I'm grateful for your friendships and for your leadership, and I don't think we, Larch Portland, would be where we are today without either of you. And
Well,
so,
thank you. Yes,
And I
okay.
guess the last thing that I would like to say is what a gift this has been. It's been a gift to me personally. I think it's been a gift to the board, and it's been a gift to the whole community to have this kind of diversity represented in the organization.
It was fun to be a board member, and it's fun to go out with him, explain his paper to me, because I was fun. I asked good questions. I always look out, go out with him and be in a board member.
And I would encourage any organization to do the very same thing. And if they need help, we're here.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Want to say cut?
Cut.